King Jesus, King Jesus. Okay. Hey, I'm doing this report on the murder of Kendrick Johnson. He was a 17-year-old athlete who went to high school in Georgia, in Valdosta, Georgia. The name of his high school was Lowndes High School. And Kendrick Johnson's body, was found in the high school in a rolled up wrestling mat on January 11, 2013, and to date, his family has received no justice for his murder. A preliminary investigation and autopsy concluded that the death was accidental. Johnson's family had a private pathologist conduct another autopsy, which concluded that Johnson died from blunt force trauma. On October 31st, 2013, the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Georgia announced that the office would open a formal review of the death of Johnson. Johnson's family is pretty unhappy with the circumstances they find themselves in. They maintain that their son was murdered at the Georgia high school on 2013. As I said, the second autopsy found that the cause of his death was blunt force trauma. They are suing the school and believe their son died at the hands of one or more students. The main alleged suspects in this case are two brothers named Brian and Brandon Bell, the younger of whom had a fight with Johnson the year before. Now, these brothers, Brian and Brandon Bell, his father is an FBI agent in the local area there. And so the police claimed that the older brother had an alibi that he had left the school grounds on his way to a wrestling match. But lawyers for Johnson's parents have produced bus reservations that listed a 4 p.m. departure time for the bus. So he couldn't have been on it. The brother couldn't have been on it as is claimed. It says the younger boy who got beat up was in class and accounted for when Johnson was seen entering the gym where his body would later be discovered. Now, you got to realize the circumstances for this murder had to involve more than one person to actually commit the murder and leave the murder scene as it was found. It says here one of the two brothers, Brian and Brandon Bell, being investigated by federal prosecutors in the case of a Georgia teenager found dead in a rolled up mat, has had his alibi supposedly confirmed by the police. So the police are helping this FBI agent in Valdosta, Georgia, cover up the murder of this young 17-year-old black boy. It says classmate found the body of the 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson of Valdosta in the middle of a mat, propped upright against the wall of a gym at Lowndes High School on January 11, 2013. The sheriff's investigators concluded that the teenager died of a freak accident. That's because it's an FBI agent's son who's committed the murder, allegedly. It says Johnson's parents have long insisted that their son was murdered, and in July they filed a lawsuit in Lowndes County Superior Court that stated that their son died at the hands of one or more students. The two brothers, Brian and Brandon Bell, had initially their names withheld, but it was published by the local Valdosta paper. And the local police department had bent over backwards to try and exonerate those two brothers, apparently because these brothers, their father is a FBI agent there locally. As they tried to say that he had left the grounds an hour before Johnson was last seen, it says that the bus he claimed to have taken didn't leave till 4 o'clock that day. when the murder occurred at 12. Now they've gotten all the people in the high school to lie for this murderer, including the wrestling coach. So we could see that the murder scene involved a gym where wrestling normally occurs. It involved wrestling mats, and the main suspect is a wrestler whose coach is lying for him, and whose father is an FBI agent there in a hick country town in Georgia. Now it's interesting that Ebony Magazine did an expose on this whole thing, and in retaliation for the Ebony's expose, Rick and Karen Bell, the parents of the two suspects, Brandon and Brian Bell, sued Ebony Magazine for $5 million. So that shows you how the wheels of justice turns for a black victim in America when white people are involved. You can see that the police are breaking their backs to exonerate these guilty murderers, in my opinion. And not only that, the whole judicial system is bending over backwards to hide the facts in this case.